And here's Paul Franco.
Okay, we're already back. I had let me go and move this over. I put on there where it's a break, but then I scooted the crude oil chart back, so then people were probably going to get confused and say, "Wait a minute, uh, your crude oil chart's not active or whatever." So that's why I came back. But then I thought, well, if I don't push the break back, then everybody's going to go back and think that we don't have any sound. So we'll just go and come back a little bit early and get started again. So hang on. Okay, so Qatar says, sir, very much like your simple approach, but I always had some problem with the audio, only during your session. Fortunately, today is the first day your audio is absolutely clear. Yeah, thanks, Qatar. It was also so helpful. Yeah, here was the deal is I've got a very, very nice mic, but what was happening is, and everybody said I sound like I was in a fishbowl, is because I was, even though I had my mic on, it wasn't actually transmitting from a mic. It was transmitting from the little iPhone earbuds. So yesterday was the first day I finally figured out how to select the correct microphone. So it's coming from that real nice microphone, a Blue Yeti. And so, but then yesterday we had all those problems. So yeah, now everything, the sound's all good. And actually today it automatically loaded up. It saved my settings. So that's why the sound sounds real clear and all that. So yeah, I never could understand. People kept telling me, the sound's terrible. It sounds like you're in a hall or a tunnel. And I'm thinking, what the heck? You know, I've got a very nice microphone, but yeah, I finally figured out what was going wrong. So it took a while. Certainly took a while for me to finally figure that out. Like I told you, when it comes to, you know, I know technical. I mean, you know, technology a little bit, but with certain stuff, I mean, frankly, I'm as dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to certain stuff. So anyway, that's it. So here we are once again here on the crude oil market. We're going to get right into gold because I want to touch on to what happened on that move. And so I just don't, like I said before, I just don't see, and we're finding support here at that 50.17, which I already had that level. And like I said, you know, earlier today, I almost wanted to go in and tweet that out, and I thought, nah, I'm just going to wait till the webinar. But the reason I'm saying I don't see a whole lot moving lower, it goes back to the same old thing I said before, market positioning analysis. Now, one of the things that's kind of scary here, look at this, I'm just noticing it now. It looks like we have a head and shoulders. I do it here, well, let me go and do it here. Because if I do it on top of the other one, it won't show up. If I do it up in here. So, if we take this 56.67 as a neckline, let's go on that. You take that, and we take this. Then I'm not good like Blake. Blake, he can be talking while he's doing all his analysis. Not me. I'm not as you know, Blake. He's a real multitasker. Not me. I'm the kind of person who only do one thing at the same time, or whatever you want to call it. But you know, it looks like we're going to make a move down to this level here. This is our the old straighten it up there. A little crooked. This is our zone here, this 47.29, 46.40. You see how that's been pretty key here? See that? That's why I like to color them in, because it visually it stands out. Because if I see that level, that doesn't mean you know crap to me. It just doesn't. But then when I color in these levels, then I can go in and I can see. Then I see it and I go, oh wow, it looks like we're going to go back to this level, this zone. So when you look at this, and it appears to be a head and shoulders right in here. And come on, don't tell me that is no head. You know, I'm saying is it could not, but I'm saying is, and Blake, I used to call head and shoulders all over the place, and I learned that from Blake. You know, all this stuff. You know, you can see a head and shoulders here. You see here, kind of, sort of, not really, but a little bit. But he says unless it comes after like a real high move, it doesn't really mean anything. Well, don't tell me, brother, that this wasn't a high move. So I think that this is a real nice potential for head and shoulders. So if that's the case, then you want to be selling moves back here to this 50, 67. So I would think the market would have a hard time getting above 5104, okay? And potentially it looks like we'd go to 47.29 on this head and shoulders right in here. So once again, after you killed all the bears, now the market can now move lower. That's just the way stuff works. I'm working with this one guy. He's new. And he thinks stuff's supposed to go one way all the time. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's kind of annoying in a way. It's actually, anyway, just some of them, you know, that we're family, if you want to call that. So like I said, you know, the guy thinks the market's supposed to only go one way all the time. And I'm telling you, you know, that's the way stuff works sometimes. It just, you know what I'm saying, is stuff just, it just goes one way and that's it. It goes on a one-way street. So my thinking is here, it was all about market positioning. This here, they killed all the bears, and then at the end of the day, like I told you, the numbers are still the numbers, the supply numbers. So then the market, you know, then falls back. Then we get the you know, the supply numbers actually come out, and then we really accentuate the move. We do a recovery, and then we come back down, and now we're kind of dithering here. Honestly, I don't know who's going to be buying as we come back up in here, other than short covering. Because people then are going to say, no, you know what? I don't think so. I mean, eventually, when Iran comes back on, because then everybody starts seeing the glass is half empty. Well, Iran's going to be coming back, and, you know, we still have those high supply levels, and, you know, those numbers on Wednesday was terrible. I just can't, you can't get me to buy that. And this move down here, that was just vicious. I mean, I don't want to get pulled into that, so chances are we have to work lower. So 49.19 is pretty key. We got 49.33, but I don't think any of this stuff is going to come into fruition too much later. That being said, I just think that any moves below $50 at this point are just, you're just not going to see much fall through. I could be proven wrong. I'm talking about today. I'm just saying this. I would have been covered. If you're short, if you want to still hang on, you can hang on. I just don't think that there's probably you know, a whole lot left under 50 for today. Today's the day to be covering. Today's the day when people are taking the you know, taking the nickels out of the machine, and they're saying, you know what, I had a pretty good run. If I had a pretty good week, I'm getting out. Might as well take my gains. I'm not going to try and squeeze anything else out of this you know, turnip. And other people that have been on the wrong side of the market, they go, you know what, it's been a tough week for me. I think I'll just wait till I come in fresh next week. I'm just saying is that just like I said, the way that I think that the way that it would go on and play out. Okay, so let's go and move on to gold. And we had our run here in gold, and let's go and move in here to a 1 hour, because I think we're going to see it better here. And so here's what we had talked about on the, you know, yesterday when we got this move over here, and we were looking at this 1195. And actually, I remember from the other week, I remember I said 1194.80 because that's what I wanted to do below. Because I said we had support at 96, but I wanted to see it dip below these lows, which is 94.80, which we got that. And you know, the market, you look like everything was looking okay here on the 4 hour. We got this hammer right in here. And I told you what I was looking for was a move to 1204.50. And so let's go and put this in here. And we're going to talk about what happened. It's up from here. So as we came in here, this 1197, I said, hey, look, I think that we're going to make it up here to this 38%. I'd be taking profits, but I really saw them move up here to 1206. Okay. What happened was, like you say, a funny thing happened on the way to Palladium. Was that when we got up here to 1202, the market never made to the 38%, and I knew we should get past the 38%. I said I'd be taking profits here, but I think we'll eventually get up here to 1206. What happened was the dollar went on the bid, and that's what, like I said, it started losing the steam. And the guy was asking me, he said, hey, you know, what do you think about that gold market? And I go, well, it's got to hold 1197 on a 1 hour close. Here's the deal. I'm a very active trader. And just like I told you about the euro, I'm going to take some money off the table. I'm always going to take. So if you ever think that I bought them at 1194.80 and I've been long 1194 all the way up to 1224, nah, that's not the way I trade. Because I've seen, just like with euro, it's all the way back down to 94. And I just saw, I think, 91. So if I'm like an idiot and I didn't take any of the money off of the table because I'm going to put on a hero trade, I'm going to brag to everybody that I got long at 0592 on the euro and I rode it all the way up, then that's it. I'm a freaking idiot. You have to take some money off the table. And that's what I like to go and do. And so when this other gentleman was asking me, I said, hey, look, you take some money off the table and you buy it. Now, right now, in euro, I'll be honest with you, I would, at that point, and usually when I do the webinar, I can't, like I told you, I'm not like Blake. I can't trade. He can be trading at the same time. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. So I have to go in and get out. So I already jumped out of the euro. But I will say, what I would have been doing, I would have been buying the euro at 605, 603. So I'd be down right now. I'd be down like 11 pips. The difference is I'd have it to give back. Because I got long at 0592. I have the money to get back. So I say, well, you know, at least as long as it doesn't, you know, close below 90 or whatever, I wouldn't be stressing it because I've got the money to give back. I go, well, I'm not going to give it all back. I mean, you know, if I get out at 1190, I'll have lost, you know, 16 pips, but I was long from 1192, and I made some pretty good money on the upside, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I'm saying is that we did get below this 1197, but my whole thinking was the reason I didn't like it yesterday, and you know, primarily I trade FX. So believe me, I was watching it when that dollar was blowing and going, and I'm short dollar yen, so I wasn't too thrilled about it. Dollar yen's actually held up pretty well. It just doesn't. It got dragged, kicking and screaming above 2042. We got up to, what was it, 2073, 2075, but we're down. We've lost to 2040, and we're at 2026 right now. So when we started to lose that, we should have easily been able to make it to here to the 38%. And realistically, when I chose out yesterday, I go, if y'all want to hang on beyond that, that's your business. I go, but I think we could probably make it to 1206, but I'd be getting the hell out of Dodge. When we see the dollar going all bid like crazy, you know, the thing is, if you're down from down here, there's no way you're going to be giving up all your gains. Don't do that. And you knew when the dollar went on the bid, they're going to challenge 1200. So get the heck out of Dodge and let them see what they do under 1200. Because they're going to test it anyway at that point. So we held up these lows pretty well. So here we are. Now guess what? We've come back to the 38%. And now that's where the market ran out of gas. If we had done it on the initial move without the dollar going on the bid, I think we would have made it up to 6. So quickly, yeah, they're stopping at the 38%. And they took the money off of the table. Here at the 38%, and we're down here. I think that if the dollar can back off a little bit, you got to be careful with this gold, because if the dollar, you know, like I said, this move in the dollar is really something else. If the dollar relents some of those gains early next week, then I do believe that we could really get going in gold. And remember, I told you, I go, gold has to defend that 1200 level. I'll tell you what, gold is holding up very, very well. You better be careful, and if you're not buying this thing, and I'm not no gold bug, do not be short in this market. I'm telling you right now, because this market is holding up like a champ in light of the dollar run. I mean, it's holding above 1200, and look at the worthless euro. It's below 106. Now that being said, you know, euro and gold used to trade, you know, in sync or whatever. But I'm saying the key thing is the dollar's on the bid, and gold is holding above 1,200. That means something right now. That really means something. So you've got to be careful right here with this gold market. Don't be selling this gold market. I'm telling you right now. When I say don't be selling it, don't be shorting it. Because if this dollar starts to regain itself, I mean, the dollar finally starts to come, go offer, man, it's Katie bar the door, considering that we're holding 1,200, and we didn't even take out the lows. At least if we could have taken out lows, we could have scared some people. You got people that got long, and they're not holding back, and right now, they're doing okay. You got people with $5, $8 gains, at this point right now, some with $10 gains. Those people are not holding back. If the dollar starts to pull back, gold's going to go in and rip. So you better be careful on this doggone market. I think the next key level is right in here, this 1208. But you better be careful. Dollar goes on the offer. This thing could really take off. So that's my 2 cents right there. So let's go and move into the S&Ps. And this is something else. I really think that we would go down to 1219. I really do. But like I said, we've got that 401k put, and people putting money to work. And every Monday we come in for the last few weeks, the market goes on the bid pretty hard. So you got to be, like I said, this is something else. Like I said, I'm surprised I was able to take out 81.75, but it did it. So let's go on to the 30-minute just to kind of get, I think it provides a better look at than the 4-hour. So we're back in this range, 81.75 at 98. And 90 is pretty key. And remember what I told you about ranges? Whenever I draw a range, I find that when a market gets back in the range, it generally goes to the 50%. What's the 50% of this range? Basically 90. And look where we're at. We're already pulling back. I think it's going to have a hard time getting above 90. Like I said, when I see when markets fall into a zone, you see this right here? It comes into the zone. Where does it find support? Around the 50% rallies. You see what I'm saying? So we break back into the zone. Where do we find resistance? Of course, it's only back down a little bit. What I'm saying is right around the 50% of the zone. So, I just don't know on this in this S&P, and that's why I haven't really done anything. And why? The only thing I will say is that I told people, and I thought we would get eventually. I remember Bob had asked me, what do you think they're going to move? I go, I think they're eventually going to go and move to 1219, and we might finally work lower, blah, blah, blah. But, we got some crazy stuff going on with the Hang Seng, and you better be careful on that market. And I'm saying this because of the implications there. But once again, you have to go and be careful. You have to be careful here because at this point here, I don't think we're going to be able to test the upside. I really don't. My concern here is what's been happening on that Hang Seng index, and Blake spent some time on that. Maybe Blake will go and touch more on that for today. I think you have to be careful on that Hang Seng. I'm actually going to be on the show with Anthony Crudele, and I'm actually going to touch a little bit on that. I think that I'm definitely one of these doom and gloomers, and the world's going to come to an end, and all those people have been stupid. If you're still following those stupid idiots, you're almost as dumb as they are. Those people don't know nothing. When the market goes and corrects back 3%, they're going to be with their stupid I told you so's, and that's all it is. Those people are morons. Let me just tell you that right now. They're morons. And the reason they're morons is because if you can't admit when you're wrong, then you're a moron. Okay? That's it. You're a moron. Okay? When you're wrong, I've been wrong lots of times. When I'm wrong, I just say I'm wrong. If you get these bozos that keep saying, oh, eventually it's all going to work out. Eventually it's going to be terrible. You're crazy if you're still following those people. The thing is, you're here to go and trade the markets, and you're here to trade them the way they are. And that's what I'm saying. When we went down there, I was talking to Bob. I said, you got to go in and be, the way this market is, you got to be able to just, when it hits these levels, go in and get out. I think Blake made the same talk when he was talking about FX. He said, you know, these markets, they're just going back and forth in these ranges. So you got to be willing, as we move to the top of the range, be willing to sell them, or if not, don't buy them anymore. And same thing when you get to the bottom of the range. If you're not willing to short them, then, I mean, not willing to buy them, then don't go in and short them. But get off these doom and gloomers. They're just worthless. They really are. You know, they're never wrong. Eventually we'll see the demise, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Like what the economist said, in the long run, we're all dead. You know what? In the long run, they'll say, you see, who cares? Those people don't make any money whatsoever. So anyway, once again, like I said, I think you have to be careful here. I just, like I said, that Hang Seng, I tweeted out a chart yesterday. Doggone, you better be careful on that, because if we go and we do go on and pull back there, and it could get ugly, it doesn't mean that we're going to fall apart, but that's probably it'll affect Asia. The Nikkei are going to get whacked pretty nicely to a certain extent. Maybe not whack so hard, but it'll go and pull back, and that'll take the bit out of these spoofs. I'm just saying, you just ought to be careful here. So that's all I got. Blake ought to be walking in the door any moment right now. So I went and got on my soapbox. Hang on, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Blake should be walking in. Now, the other day I couldn't hear him, so I hope I can hear him. I don't know. Let's see. Hang on one second. Let me look at something.